In the ancient year of 1991, Disney CEO Michael Eisner was sitting in Club 33, drunk out of his mind, when Kevin Feige walked through the door. He says,
"I'm gonna make an Iron Man movie, and I'm gonna do it without you, you piece of shit."
And Michael Eisner says,
"Watch me, bitch."
And thus the Rocketeer was born. I don't know about you guys, but I've run out of things to watch. Well, except for the Book of Boba Fett, but I can't make a video on that. I need something I've never seen before, something unlike anything I've considered in the past. So as I scoured all the streaming services for original films, I started to wonder if I'd ever find anything original. Oh, what's this? Space boobs in space. Okay, Jeff, are you on acid again? Disgusting. I'll have to jot that one down for later. I finally found one on Disney+. Yep, it's The Rocketeer. When you look at the poster, it's immediately obvious that this is an Iron Man story. And you'd be right to think that, because this movie, while not beat for beat the same, shares a lot of similarities with the Marvel hero, but we'll discuss that later. In this throwback story, we find ourselves in Los Angeles, California, 1938. Is this Los Angeles? I don't see any hypodermic needles. Anyway, stunt pilot Cliff Secord dreams of one day flying a small plane in the national championships of flying small planes, I guess. But after crashing his plane, he and his friend Peavy are down and out. Out of money, that is. Just when they think things are over, they get caught in the crossfire of a shootout. Someone stole a new invention that's going to change the world, the very first jetpack. It's invented by this guy named Howard. Yeah, it's not Iron Man, I swear. Cliff and Peavy use the jetpack to do some hero work until a third party invades their house to look for the MacGuffin. Jetpack. It turns out that this third party is headed by a Nazi spy, and Germany plans to make thousands of jetpacks to take over the world. This all culminates in a pretty sweet climactic battle between Cliff, the inventor, and the Nazis above a crashing airship. While this film definitely has its similarities to Iron Man and Indiana Jones, there's some original stuff in here. Alright, let's start with the characters. Cliff is a guy who works hard for his dream. At first, he wants to profit from the jetpack. Throughout the course of the film, he starts to see how much danger it attracts. Everyone he knows is getting attacked, and he eventually decides to hand over the device to the feds. So if you're comparing this movie to Iron Man, it's actually ahead of its time. It took Tony Stark 3 movies to learn this lesson, and Cliff learns it in roughly 90 minutes. Feature film length, baby. He has a big heart, and he always acts in the service of others. I love that there's the expectation that he and his girlfriend will have this big fight towards the beginning over another guy. But this film is smarter than that cliche, dang it. He and his girl do fight at one point, but it's because he's trying to be too nice and overprotective. He didn't tell her about the plane crash because he didn't want to ruin her night. That's kinda sweet. In my opinion, he's the best character in the movie. 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, best character, best character. I mean, there is this huge Nazi guy who's basically a living cartoon. I honestly think he's some kind of animatronic. But even though Freddy Fazbear here doesn't show much emotion, he is intimidating. Where the characters succeed, so does the story. This is a very character-driven plot, with every decision feeling calculated and rational, which is kinda hard to come by these days. I won't give away every single conflict in case you decide you want to watch this for yourself, but there is one scene that I have to talk about. Click off now if you care about spoilers. There's an incredibly tense scene towards the end where all 3 parties converge on each other to fight over the suit. One of these parties is a mob who's been hired to retrieve the jetpack, another is Cliff himself, and the third is the main antagonist who wants the jetpack to take over the world. It's a negotiation scene. Cliff hands over the jetpack in exchange for his girlfriend who's been captured. I've never seen this before, I swear. Out of options, Cliff suddenly turns to the mob boss and says one thing. So what's it like working for a Nazi? The mob boss is stunned, and he simply says, "I'm not working for no Nazi." He then spins around and points his gun at his former employer. And this is a great scene. It's what every character interaction has been building up to. Through 2 lines of dialogue, the entire power dynamic has shifted into the most beautiful kind of double cross. It's just really great writing, something we're in short supply of these days. The last thing I want to praise is the climax of the movie. After this double cross happens, a full-blown Nazi airship appears overhead, and the villain gets away with the girl. Naturally, the Rocketeer straps on the jetpack to save his girl, and it's a great final battle of sorts. The film started with a crashing aerial vehicle, and that's how it's gonna end. It gets really Indiana Jones-like up in here, and it's awesome. A problem I have with a lot of modern movies is how the final battle falls short. A good climax ups the stakes and the scale. Some movies know how to do one or the other, but you really need both in order to truly satisfy your audience. For example, Dune 2020. Look, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate comments about this, but I don't care, I have to talk about it. Dune 2020 ups the stakes, but not the scale for the final battle, and it ends up feeling really anticlimactic. For the record, Denis Villeneuve is not on acid. And yeah, Dune is a special case because it's a part 1, but I still left the movie feeling underwhelmed. And I know I'm not alone in this. Upping the scale is essential, and this film, The Rocketeer, pulls it off very well. So that's my review of The Rocketeer. I didn't talk about every aspect of this movie, but I wanted to talk about the stuff that I liked most about it. It's definitely a worthwhile watch, and if you're looking for something original, and if you're tired of all these sequels, reboots, remakes, I would give it a watch. It's a bit different than the things I typically review on my channel, but I felt it was still worth talking about. Similarities to Iron Man aside, this movie is great. If you have Disney Plus, you can check it out there. And with that, that is all for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Comment below what kind of outfits my avatar candles should wear next. And go follow my new subreddit for video updates, frequent polls on video ideas, stuff like that. It's gonna be replacing my Instagram. I also take video requests, so if there's something you want me to check out, I probably will. More likely I will if it's a movie, and even more likely if it's animated. And if anyone wants to collab on a review or video essay or really anything, I'd love to do something like that. Subscribe to this channel for more TV and movie reviews and news. Thanks for watching, and remember to come back next Wednesday for our review of the new Ice Age spinoff. It's gonna be a doozy, folks. Peace out.